friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade No Hallmark. And today I've got these two quick, simple cards featuring some fun die cutting and a little bit of stamping. These cards took no time at all to create and they are super easy, so let's get into it. So I'm just using some simple pattern paper that I have pre-cut to fit on an A2 sized note card. They're just slightly smaller. I used one of my A2 stacked dies to cut those out. And the pattern paper that I'm using is from Honeybee. It's from an older set called Make It Merry. I'm not sure if it's available anymore, but you don't have to have this exact pattern paper. You can use anything that you have in your stash to create a similar look. I'm also using the Scripty Christmas background stamp for the green card, and I just wanted to add a little bit of interest to the background. You could definitely skip this step, but I think it really adds to it and adds a little bit of fun and interest. And I just used some evergreen ink from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm also using a pointed evergreens die from Simon, and I really wanted these trees to be the focal point of this card, so I did die cut them 3 times out of just some plain white cardstock, and I'm going to stack them on top of each other to create some fun dimension. And I really wanted to do this because this is the main point of this card, and I wanted it to really kind of stand out. It's not too much dimension that you can't mail it, but it's just enough to add a little bit of interest. And the idea behind these cards was to create something that was quick and simple, and just takes a little bit of die cutting, and you're good to go to create a bunch of these cards in a similar fashion. You can use any dies that you have. I think a really pretty like floral die would look nice for this idea, as well as maybe some other trees, or anything else that you might have in your stash would make for a fun card. And these cards only took me, I'm going to say maybe about 45 minutes in total, just because, kind of working on cards, in between, family life and that sort of thing. So in total, probably about 45 minutes if you include all the die cutting. And I'm just using some Bearly Arts adhesive glue to glue these down. And like I said, these are super easy, and I could definitely, do cards similar to this using just about every pattern in a pattern paper pack. This one from Honeybee is really nice. There's lots of blank ones and some ones that have patterns on it, but I still think you could do that if you have a background or a piece of pattern paper that has a lot kind of going on in it. You could easily just kind of put a bit of vellum over top to kind of mute it a little bit, and then put your die cut and your greeting on top of it, which I think I've done something similar in the past, but it makes for, again, really quick and easy cards. Once that was adhered and nice and dry, you can see here that I'm going to put it right in the center of my card, and it's going to look really nice because it's going to have a nice white border around it, and it's going to fit beautifully on here. And again, I didn't do anything extra. I didn't go, crazy and add sparkle and glitter and all those different things. You definitely could, but I just decided to keep it kind of clean and simple. I'm also using a die from the Concord and 9th Joyful Wreaths die, and this die set's got a lot of really fun things in it. I haven't had a chance to use the wreath yet, but I really wanted to use this Fa La La die and use that as my greeting for this card. This is the only greeting on here, and I die cut it out of some glitter gold cardstock. And then I also cut it out of some black cardstock just to create a little bit of a shadow behind it, to help it stand out just a little bit against all that white that's going on. And I think it turned out great. I really love this card and how simple but classy it looks. And that's really what I was going for. I always have a tendency to want to do all the techniques, all the different things to create a card. And I did try to create a card before I made these ones, and I was trying to be simple, but it just wasn't working out for me. I was trying to do all these different sorts of techniques, and I was just getting extremely frustrated with myself. So I just decided to kind of go back to basics and just keep it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate things to create some really nice, elegant cards. And that's what I was going with here with these 2 cards today. So now that I have all the elements, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my trees down right in the center of this stamped background. And I just love the green. It's really nice because usually you see trees being green, but the background is, which I really think is a fun look. And then I had a couple of areas where the bottoms of the trees weren't quite glued down, so I just added a little bit more adhesive to that, and then I can get my greeting added on as well. And I'm only adding a little bit of adhesive across the center where the greeting is going to actually touch the die cut, because the other bits are going to kind of hang off because I have that dimension there. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side to dry, and we're going to work on my second card. So this one, again, I'm using a pattern paper from that same honeybee set, and the snowflakes I'm using are from my stash. There's some Lawn Fawn ones in there. I think there might be a Simon Says stamp one. So just shop your stash for whatever you might have, and you die cut them and arrange them however you feel that looks the best. I wanted mine to kind of, be clustered at the top and then kind of fade out towards the bottom into nothing. And I really like the way that this turned out, and I am really excited to maybe try this technique again with different colors, different snowflakes, and different design ideas. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere all of these down in where I have them placed. I kind of staged it ahead of time so you guys didn't have to watch me fool around with deciding where to put these snowflakes. And again, these are super fun. I love the way that this turned out. It is so classy and really pretty. And I am going to kind of speed through this process a little bit so you guys don't have to watch me adhere all of these snowflakes down. It's just the same process. I'm just going to go ahead and get them adhered down, and then we can work on the rest of the elements for this second card. Once I had all of my snowflakes adhered down and I was happy with their placement, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my greeting. So the greeting I'm going to be using today comes from a new Kristina Werner set. It is the Winter Greenery stamps, and there's lots of really nice greetings in here. I used this set in a previous card, and I didn't use any of the greetings, but I really like these ones in here. They're really elegant, and I felt like it would work the best with this. So I chose the one that says Warm Holiday Wishes. I felt like it nestled really nicely up kind of in the snowflakes there. Now you could definitely jazz up these snowflakes with some more sequins or some glitter drops or Nuvo drops, anything like that if you wanted to. But again, I was trying to kind of go back to basics and be as simple as I could. So I stamped this greeting down using some Simon Says embossing ink, and I'm also using some Simon Says stamp antique gold embossing powder. It's one of my favorites, and I feel like it went really well with this red background. And I think you could definitely do this with like blues and different colors like that, which would be really fun. So I got that all melted down, and I'm going to go ahead and get my station cleaned up here so I can finish the cards up. And I'm going to trim off the snowflakes along the edge here. Now, you could take these bits and fill in if you wanted to really fill up that top part of the card. I did think about doing that, but again, I just decided to keep it simple. Don't overdo it, because I'll have a tendency to not like what I do. So, and I apologize if this is out of focus at all. I don't know what was going on with it there, but I will get it focused back up as we finish up the card. So I'm going to use some top folding A2 size note cards today. You could definitely do landscape or however you like. And this is just some Simon Says stamp 120 pound cardstock. I left the insides blank so I could customize the greeting to whatever I might need and for whomever I might be sending it to. And I can definitely stamp something on the inside if I wanted to, or I can just handwrite whatever I want. But I like doing that sometimes with these sort of simple cards, is leaving the insides blank so I can customize the greeting again for whomever the recipient might be. So you can see here how that's going to look with the nice white frame around it. It's really going to bring in the white from the trees. It's really going to make everything kind of go together, which I just love. Going to get that lined up, and I just used liquid glue on this one. And then for the red card, I am going to use some foam adhesive, and I'm only going to do that because whenever I did my embossing, it did kind of warp the paper just a little bit, and this pattern paper is thinner than regular cardstock, so I felt like using the foam adhesive would help kind of flatten everything out. And then I'm going to adhere that one down, and these two cards will be ready to go. And I just love this color combination. It's obviously very traditional red and green, but you could definitely do something like this with some non-traditional colors as well. Once I get this adhered down, that will finish up these 2 cards for today. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and taking the time to watch my videos and support my channel. I am planning on bringing out more cards to you guys. Lots of things going on in the background, but I am planning on bringing some more cards to you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button as well as the subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel. I'll catch up with you guys again here real soon. Bye! On screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Please consider hitting the like button as well as the subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at my YouTube channel.